So if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you've watched previous videos, things like that, thank you for coming back and supporting our channel. Today we are going to go over making our moisturizing lip balm. We're going to make a mango flavored lip balm today. We're running low on some, so we're going to restock, and this is a new flavor that we're going to make. All right, so we'll just get into it. Throughout the video, I will provide the recipe for you and go through the steps that I use to make this moisturizing lip balm. And I will also put the recipe in the description box below for any of you that want to write that down. Okay, so we're going to start off with, first of all, getting all of our ingredients measured out. You know, it's one of those things that with lip balm, you know, there's a lot of recipes out there that are super easy to use, and it's not a complicated thing to do, but it's a really good idea to develop a recipe that is moisturizing, but it doesn't leave a greasy feeling, and you really got to play around with things. Okay, so through time and trial and error, I've made some batches that I just refused to sell simply because I didn't think that they were worth selling. This is the recipe that I kind of came up with. So we'll get started with the recipe here. All right, so I've already measured out the small amount of coconut oil that I need. I have my coconut oil in this huge tub, so it's just easier for me to have it out there. And I use a glass Pyrex container for this. I will put this into a double boiler to melt it down. I do choose to use a double boiler just because I believe that I can control the temperature, and then I can control the properties of the oils and butters and stuff that I'm putting into my lip balms. If I use the microwave, and you can use the microwave, we can't control the temperature as much. And the microwave and stuff can get to a point where it breaks down things like the shea butter and things like that and destroy some of the properties that we're trying to put into our product. So I do not use microwave, but you can. So first off, we have the 21 grams of the coconut oil. So as I said, I've already measured that out into there just because it's a big vat. All right, so we have the 21 grams of coconut oil. Okay. We are also going to add beeswax. Now you can use other waxes if you would like to make it vegan or whatever your options are. You don't have to follow my recipe exact. You're going to make the recipe your own, right? So, all right, so beeswax next, and I use the white beeswax, okay? And it's just the pellets, and I'm going to use 26 grams of the beeswax. And I have sanitized everything. I've sprayed everything with alcohol, wiped it out, and allowed it to dry. So as you can see, it seems like we're not making a really big batch. This will make, I don't know, 20, 23, somewhere in there, lip balms, okay, in the lip balm tubes. But a lot goes a long way, okay? So you're not making a batch this big. I mean, you could do whatever you'd like, but I do smaller batches so that I can change my flavoring oils out more often, so I'm not just having the same thing. So people have variety. So I do everything in a smaller batch. I find that it just works for me. All right, so we have our beeswax, okay? And then we use cocoa butter. Now, cocoa butter is super good for the skin. It's got a nice smooth texture to it. And I buy the pastel little things. I find it easier to measure out. And of course, for my lip balms, I have them so that they don't have that strong cocoa smell to it. Now, I can still smell cocoa in here, but it's not as bad, so my flavored oil doesn't have chocolate in the background. Okay, so we're going to use 30 grams right there. 31. I'm not going to start cutting up the pastels. We get that in there. Okay. So that is our cocoa butter. And then we have shea butter. Okay. And as I said, now shea butter is one of those ones that you can destroy the properties quite easily in it by overheating it. So I choose to use the double boiler, as I said. Okay. And I use the white, okay, shea butter here. So we're going to go 40 grams of shea butter. And you can use whatever butters you want. You can easily tell in my recipe, you know, butters, oils, what my solids are to get the consistency that I'm looking for. So you can switch these out with whatever oils you want. I don't use any liquid oils, okay, other than vitamin E oil in this recipe. Excuse me. Okay, for this recipe, now I have 4 different recipes that I use depending on what it is that I'm going for, whether it be, you know, the one for high moisturization, or whether I'm going for a protection lip balm. So I have 4 different recipes. This is the one I use for my high moisture moisturizing lip balm, okay? And this is your base recipe. So as you can tell, I have all solids, okay? I am not putting any liquid oils in there. I will put in the vitamin E oil. I choose to get this all melted down, then add in my vitamin E. So that's what we're gonna go with. So I'm gonna get this in the double boiler. While that's melting, okay, I'm going to set up my lip balm tray. So this is the style I have. I have a number of these so I can make multiple batches at once. And it's just, it makes pouring and stuff so much easier when you're going through the process of mixing these. Some people will just pour right into the tube. I just find that it's so difficult. I buy all of my lip balm casings like so. Okay, there comes the lids. And then I have my lip balm. So all you're going to do, guys, is you're just going to push these lip balm tubes right in like so. So you just turn this upside down. Okay, so now that I have everything nicely melted down, as you can see, it's all a nice clear liquid, okay? Now, this is gonna have to cool off a little bit before I start adding more stuff to it. The things that we're going to add to it, okay, are going to be our flavoring oil. And you guys, it's really important that we understand the usage rate, sorry. You have to understand the usage rates. We're not overdoing that. We don't want to aggravate or cause any reactions to anybody. This is flavoring oil, so it is food safe and stuff, but companies that do their labeling, I really like the companies that just put the usage rate, the flash point and stuff right on their label. So Windy Points is one of those companies that does that, and I really like their flavor oils. And they put the usage rate and the flash point right on the flavoring oils, okay? So flash point is 108 Fahrenheit, usage rate 1 to 5%. Okay, and it's right on there, so you don't have to go onto the internet and look it all up. If you purchase stuff that doesn't have it on there, sometimes what I will do is once I get the product and I'm unpacking it, I will look up the stuff and I'll just write it with black marker on my bottle so that it is there for me when I use it, okay? So we need this, flash point is 108, so we don't want to add our fragrance oil at a temperature higher than that. It's not fragrance oil, sorry. Flavoring, make sure you do not use fragrance oil in your lip balms. That is for sure, okay? So it's really important that we know the temperature so that we know when to add our flavoring oil. The flavoring oil flash point is 108. So right now we are sitting at 155. So we are quite warm yet. So this has got to cool down quite a bit, okay, before we start adding that. And then we have our vitamin E that I still need to add. I'll wait for this to cool down a little bit and then I'll add that, okay? We're also going to put a little bit of coloring in it. Now, when we're talking about colorings for our lip balms, once again, really important that you make sure that it is lip safe. It has to be approved, okay? It has to meet the FDA standards for lip safe. You can't just use any colorant in here. It has to be lip safe. So a company like Mad Micas, once again, they put it right on their label, okay? So it's FDA permitted for eye areas and lips, okay? So that tells me I can use this mica in my lip balms. Not all companies do that. I think this is actually the only company that I purchased from that actually has the approve right on the label. So Mad Mica is really good for that. They have it right there when you're going through to pick out your colors. If you are unsure, please, wherever you purchase the mica from or whatever colorant you're using, make sure that you've gone onto their website and you have made sure that that is lip safe, okay? So we will start off with our vitamin E. And we are still at 52, so, but as I stir, things will cool off. So let's get our vitamin E oil in here and we can start stirring and making sure that blends in well. And it will cool off while we're doing that. So we want 2 grams of vitamin E. There we go. Okay, and then we're just going to stir this. We don't need the scale anymore. Stir this and get that all blended in there. That will help cool it off and this vitamin E oil melt and mix into all of our other blend of butters and oils. So you're just going to keep stirring and getting that cooled off to where we want it. So we're coming down quite a bit now. All right, and we can add our colorant in at this point too while we're working on cooling this off. You do not need a lot of coloring, okay? Look at the size batch that I'm making. So I'll put a little bit in and we will see where that gets us. It does dry opaque, so you don't have to, the color does show up better once you have it cooled. And if it's lip safe, you can put a lot in here and it's not going to hurt anything, but they will have color on their lips from it, okay? So as long as it's lip safe, you can add as much as you want, but I choose to use a smaller amount just for the looks more than anything. It's not to color their lips. So I'm pretty happy with that color there. You can see that. And we're just going to continue to allow this to cool. So we're down to 140, so we still got a ways to go. I'm just going to keep stirring this until I get it down to the temperature, and then I will come back. Okay, so now that I have this to the temperature that I want, it will start sticking to the sides and firming up. We have to get our flavor oil in here, which we've got to get mixed in, so we're going to stir it a bit from that. As I said, we are going to use Mango Madness, okay? And I use a dropper. Okay, and you will do this to the specification of your flavoring oil, depending on where you put it. So mine is the 1 to 5%, and I'll go ahead and use the whole 5%. So okay, and this is the cupcake frosting, sweetened flavoring oil. I just find it gives a smooth edge. I use it in a lot of my products. If I buy it in a bigger bottle, it sweetens it up and gives it more flavor. It's kind of got that creamy fragrance to it, because a flavoring oil is really just a scent. It gives that smell and illusion of the mangoes, but it's not an actual flavoring, so to say. So I find if you add a sweetener to it, you get more of that flavoring experience. And that's why I use that. Now you can use stevia and different things like that. I choose to use that. All right, so then we just pour into here. So when I'm doing this, you guys, you can see the little divots, and I choose to do this before it fully hardens, because I have to use too much heat and then the air starts to blow the holes bigger and push fluid out. And I do it slowly and from a distance, so I'm not pushing holes. I want those holes to flood. So this takes a little bit more time because you're not pouring heat on there, but this is going to melt at skin temperature. So we just want to melt the top so it smooths the tops out, makes it aesthetically pleasing, and getting rid of those dimples. So if you go too close, it's going to push the fluid around and it makes more of a mess. So I do it from a distance and take my time doing it, and I have a way better result. At least that's how I find out it works for me. All right, and we'll be back after this sets for a couple hours. Okay, so it's been a few hours. These are set up nicely. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pull these out, and it's pretty simple. I'll pull out the size that I did. This made 26, and I just pull them out. I'm just going to take some 99% alcohol, spray it on here. Right, and these are the labels I print. I'm switching to the gloss label, so it's the first time that I've used these, so we'll see how this goes. But I have the ones, I don't know if you can see that, but it's got the serrated line, so it actually seals this. So once I have them in the stores and stuff like that, people can't open them and stuff. They are kept sealed. I'm just very big on that. Okay, so simply going to take this label, and as you can see, it's a clear label. You line the little dotted line up, on the cap, like so, and then just slowly go around. So labeling these does take a little bit of patience and time. And just make sure it's pressed all the way. And there is the lip balm labels. So just like that. Like I say, I get the ones with the serrated just because I want my product to be sealed. And there we go.